Yo, hey guys, welcome back to the Batar Project. Just gonna be a short and sharp one today. No guests this week, unfortunately, but I've organized to record some on the weekend. Today, I'm just gonna be doing a recap of a little, I guess it was a men's workshop that I went to about 2 weeks ago now. Um, Men's Medicine, the same people who ran the couples workshop that I attended about probably a month ago now. So I kind of did, but didn't know what to expect. It was a really good day. I really recommend it to any male out there, like looking to, I guess, connect on a deeper level with themselves and grow as an individual and a man. Like that was my purpose for going. It was just deeper connection and continuing to develop and grow as you know as an individual as a man. What the day kind of involved, what I've now come to realize, and I was when I first went to the event, I was like, whoa, okay, why are we doing so much breath work? I didn't quite understand it until like looking back at it now, and then after you've gone through the breath work, you realize, wow, like actually focusing on your breath really lets out so much emotion and so many thoughts that you probably have kept locked up deep inside you. So yeah, the power of the breath, they say, it's amazing. Totally recommend it. So the day involved, we started off with a bit of exercise. It was just like a F45 style 15 20 minute 15-minute workout or something, just get the blood flowing. Then we got broken up into like partners. So my partner was Mark, 55-year-old guy from Coffs Harbour, nicest guy I've ever met. Great guy. Honestly, I'm very grateful that I got partnered with him. He had a lot of wisdom to share with me, and it was great. So we just spent some time. We had to get to know each other, and then we broke up. Oh, we learnt about emotions and how for men, well, we came to the conclusion that men struggle with the emotion anger, which I agree with, and I think it's true that a lot of men do struggle with how they express anger, how they talk about how they're feeling and stuff like that. So we defined that, and then we went into this therapy, like timeline therapy. I've never done it before. I didn't know what to expect. Basically, what it is so you and your partner. I sit there with my eyes closed, and I got to go back along my timeline until I can think of the first time that I ever experienced anger from maybe seeing someone else express their anger or me expressing my own anger. Now, for me, that came up. So, whilst I'm doing this, I'm actually talking to Mark of what's going through my mind, and he's writing like all this stuff down. So, from the first memory that came to mind was mine at about 6 to 7 years old. A family issue, someone expressing anger. I seen that, and basically the questions that Mark had to ask me, well, questions that I had to think about, were where are you, what's going on, who is there, and then the last one is what can you learn from this experience? Because ultimately, there's always something to learn from the experience, no matter how bad it is. And for me, on that day, I actually learned a lot about myself and why I deal with anger the way I do. So, someone in my family expressing anger, multiple. So, we did the first event, and then you go to like, you continue down your timeline until like the next event, next event. And we found out that there was a reoccurring like cycle of like the same situation over and over again, which was very, very interesting to go back now and look at that and realize, oh wow, okay, that's that's where I learned from, and it's been a never ending cycle. But yeah, so the last question that we had to think about was, what can you learn from that experience? Now, for me, looking like, I've never thought about this before, which was it was crazy. So it really got my mind, thinking was, and I now know why I hold all my emotions in all my feelings in, and I don't express anger in a way of lashing out, abusing, violence, all that stuff. So what I learned from it was, you know, that's not how emotions are shown, and ultimately I seen that, so I was like, okay, I'm going to go the opposite way, hold my emotions in. That's not how you treat people. You don't lash out, and from that, I've now learnt that you have to communicate your emotions. You have to learn how to express your emotions in a certain way that doesn't result in lashing out. And then Mark asked me to, I guess, go back in time, and what would you say to your younger self in that situation there? And for me, I said, it's okay to be scared. Um, it's totally fine. It's okay to have emotion at that time, but just know that one day you're gonna learn from all this stuff, and you're gonna learn how to express your anger and your emotions in the right way. So that was, yeah, that was a very interesting, therapy that I've never done before, and it really opened my eyes up into why I do what I do and how I react to certain things, which was, yeah, it's pretty cool. So yeah, then we just switched over. I did it for Mark, and it was his experience was like totally different to mine, as in, um, he believed his first experience of anger was in the womb, which was interesting. Like hearing someone say, that they believe they first experienced a certain emotion when they were in the womb, like not even like out in the world. So yeah, that was crazy. But overall, Mark really helped me through it. His wisdom, even like Lino and Tom and Sunny, the guys who were facilitating the day and running the day, um, it was really great for them to hold space for all the lads there and really help us and guide us through the day, which was amazing. So yeah, after that timeline therapy, we actually went into, I think it was 1 hour straight breath work, straight. Like the most I've ever done before was maybe 20 minutes, 25 minutes, something like that. This was 1 hour straight. The first half an hour, you had to be like up, like straight. Your posture had to be upright, um, which was kind of like hard for me, but I got through it. And once I got in a rhythm, it was amazing feeling. And then as soon as that half an hour ticked over, we got to lay down. Oh, excuse me. Once I laid down, holy shit! Like the emotions that showed up, crazy. Honestly, there was a lot of emotion, but it was a lot of around the same, I guess, situation. Um, I won't touch too much on what emotions came up, but basically it was about relationships with certain family members that I wish were better and wish we had a stronger relationship with. But basically it was around that, brought up a lot of emotion, um, a lot of really analyzing and thinking like, what do I want out of life? What path do I want to go in life? Which is ultimately like, I want to do this podcast. I want to do better life. I want to do adventure, like all that stuff. content creating. I love making content. That is ultimately like the direction I want to go in. Some people are not going to support me on that because at the end of the day, I'm probably going to be leaving behind a pretty successful business in my family business, which I'm okay with. Like, I'm not driven by money. I know money is important. I respect money, and money is going to help me get to where I want to be, but I value happiness and fulfillment over money any day of the week. So ultimately, in the next 12 plus months, like, that is really going to be the direction I'm heading into possibly a full-time gig there. So yeah. Anyway, so I got off track there. But yeah, so ultimately went through timeline therapy, the breath work, and then just a like bit of goal setting and mindset stuff, as in a lot of people tend to get upset and let certain situations that they actually like, it's out of their control, like really get to them. So it's basically just narrowing down what can you control. Like, focus on the areas in your life that you can control, like your health, your attitude, your thoughts, emotions, actions, mindset, all that stuff. Like, you can control that. So that's what your focus should be. You shouldn't be focused on what other people say or do towards you. Your past or your future, you can't control that. You can, like your circumstance right now, the weather. Like, so many people get so pissed about the weather. Like, you cannot control that. Family members, what they do, gossip, all that stuff that a lot of people put a lot of energy into. It's so pointless. Like, really, you're not growing as an individual. You're not growing. You're not gonna be successful in whatever area that you want to be successful in if you're focusing on, I would say, petty stuff. So I keep saying so a lot. Anyways, then we moved into the last part of the day was goal setting and goal planning, which was, I kind of just mentioned before, on what I want to do. All about the podcast, clothing brand. I want to move into a studio, warehouse, all that stuff. So we just had to write down a 12 monthly goal, 6 monthly goal, and 7-day goal. So I'm currently, working towards that. So yeah, that pretty much wraps up the day. It was a great day, and I learned about myself. The day kind of reinforced that it's okay to be me. Like, I'm not what others think I am. I'm on my own journey. I realized that I've been keeping my feelings in for so long that it is affecting me, and that I need to learn to express them more and tell people how I'm feeling. But yeah, it was a great day. Highly recommend it to anyone out there. Like, I've personally noticed the difference in myself. I'm learning to be more self-aware about myself and how I'm feeling. And yeah, ultimately, I would recommend it to any men out there. Men's Medicine, check them out on Facebook, Instagram. Lino, Luke Heckard, their whole team there that's running the joint. They're doing amazing. They're doing workshops all around the country. Check them out. I'm going to say it one more time. Check them out. They're doing awesome stuff, helping a lot of people, both men and women, separately and together. So yeah, thank you guys for listening. Hope you enjoyed it. Just short and sharp, 15 minutes. See you in the next one.